Okay guys, today I'm going to show you how to take out the riveted ball joints, the upper ball joints on a GM car that are in these stamped steel control arms. Pretty much it's a pretty straightforward procedure that will work for all the vans, trucks, and cars that have this riveted in ball joint. A lot of the newer cars and trucks, I know the new Ford trucks, and I think the Chevy trucks and vans have pressed in upper ball joints. So that'll entail a little bit different procedure, but this will work for the riveted ball joints. This is a 1963 Corvette that we're going to do this on today, but like I said, it's the same for the trucks and the vans. So the first thing I'm going to do is find down in this goop somewhere, there should be a cotter pin on through a castle nut, and that is the main thing that is holding the spindle to the ball joint. So I'm going to take that cotter pin off and I'll show you what we got. Okay, so now I've removed the cotter pin. Now I'm going to take this nut off. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so there's the castle nut. Now we're going to use the spreader, which you can get at the auto parts store, and you just use one of these and a hammer. Hammer this in between the bottom of the grease boot here and the top of the spindle, and we should be able to spread the ball joint and the spindle apart. Okay, so you just take your spreader, hammer it in. Now if the spreader bottoms out, or in the case of this old 63 Corvette, you'll be bumping the frame back here before the spreader gets all the way in. There's no problem. Stick a 15/16 wrench and stick it in there. That'll take up some of the space that you need for the spreader to work. So then you just hold that wrench in. This can be tricky to do by yourself, but it can be done. Just like this. There you go. Now the ball joint is separated from the spindle. Okay, now for your bottom ball joints, you'll just find your cotter pin, take that out, remove the castle nut, and put the spreader in, and then that should break your spindle free. And then to get the rivets out and get the old ball joint out, you'll have to use a angle grinder and just grind the 3 rivets, in this case, down. You'll grind them all the way without damaging the control arm until you can pry the plate up and get that ball joint off. The new ball joint will just go right in place here, and it'll come with bolts, and it'll bolt in. And then to get everything put all back together, line your spindle up and put a jack underneath the bottom control arm here, and lift the bottom control arm and the spindle and everything up in until you can get your nut in, and run your nut up tight and put your cotter pin through.